everything's muted. Now we're back, everybody, I believe. Yeah, there we go. New streaming layout, so new stuff to kind of mess around with right now. But how's everybody doing? Doing all good? Having a good time?
Yes.
So announcements before we begin. Last night, one of our stream notifications got liked by Megan Kenrick, so that's cool. Anyways, let's just talk about some stuff. Announcements.
Which one?
Beneath the Tide, I think, which is unfortunate. Because of how that went last night. So, announcements before we begin. If you like podcasts, you can check out Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean, Mimics and Monstrosities. You can look that up. Pretty easy to do. And you can find our podcasts. Episode 53 of Beneath the Tide just went up today. It's our shortest session of Beneath the Tide yet because of a lot of internet issues last night, which was super weird, but everything seems to be stable today. So you can listen to that episode. It's about an hour and 19 minutes. So you can listen to that and try to figure out what's going to happen, what's happening. Hopefully, and then I believe Beneath the Tide, we're not going to be back with that until April 8th. Because, yeah, some stuff's happening for some people. Bye, Garrett.
I'm moving into a quarantine zone.
Woo!
I'm moving to Chicago, and that place is on lockdown. Caleb's just like, you don't have to move like right now, and I'm like, I kind of do.
Man, crazy stuff happening right now.
I'm moving from a fairly safe suburb in like Ames, Iowa, which is the town with Iowa State, the college, and yeah, moving from there to Chicago. So Caleb is just like, oh, dude, I don't want you to get sick, and I'm like, don't worry about it.
It's crazy. It's crazy right now. But yeah, so check out all that. No Beneath the Tide next week. We might just take the night off. To be fair, might just take the night off. And as for the Legends of Wildmount slot, where we've been doing some one-shots, we might do a one-shot without Garrett, or we might also just take the night off. Why not? Details to come soon. It all depends on how I'm feeling, essentially. But that also means probably no Shadows over Ravenloft next week either. But I think we can do a little one-shot for the Shadows over Ravenloft people next week, so that'll be fun. I got something fun little up my sleeve for that, just in case. And then obviously this Sunday, we'll be back with Soldiers of the Lich Queen and Descended to Avernus. Watch last week's episode of Soldiers of the Lich Queen, because everyone's going to hate Hannibal really soon. I hope not.
Hannibal is a good boy. He's only doing what he thinks is right.
Exactly. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff happening. Some updates, basically, what's going on for next week, maybe. So yeah, next week, might just have all next week off. So aside from, Sunday stuff. But that all being said, last time we left off in Shadows over the Ravenloft, you guys made your way and did some stuff. You learned the ritual to seal away the dark powers, and in the process, you all died. Holy shit. And we're kind of sent to your own respective afterlives kind of thing to kind of learn something. And Bernard met Ioun. Everybody else kind of had their own little epiphanies and stuff. Ophelia met the Raven Queen. And Una and Nesla met some people of interest. And well, how's everybody doing? After some of these weird moments alone, the party were regathered once again, well dead, in a weird forest that kind of was moving and shifting its scenery and kind of maybe attempting to teach the characters weird lessons or do some weird stuff. And it was just really weird last session. A lot of weird stuff happened, essentially. That's the gist of it. And you all kind of came back to life, seemingly cured of the Dark Power's influence over you. Bernard no longer had blue flames cascading from his head. Ophelia no longer seemed to be corrupted by Tenebris. Unfortunately, her arm has not grown back, but her green flame eyes disappeared. Nesla's heart was beating again, and Una gained knowledge on how to end her curse of basically never being able to die, which is not a good thing, realistically. And they learned valuable information again on how to seal the Dark Powers, and that this ritual would need to be completed again to seal them away forever and free Ravenloft from the influence of the Dark Powers. And they also learned how to end Una's curse by killing the hags that own the old bone grinder mill in Barovia. Basically, end the curse where it began, essentially. And also, they deduce that they might have to kill their old party member, Lynn, who is now the current Dark Lord of Barovia, the Lady of Death. But, before doing any of that, the party have decided to head to the domain of Sithicus to find another shard of the Sunsword's original blade. And that's what we're going to pick up with you guys saying, to Sithicus. And that's what we're picking up immediately.
All right. So I was looking over some of our quests, our other stuff, and I have something in my notes that says find a ruby necklace for Bart, and then I have Una has it.
Not Bartholomew from the
Yeah.
We named
Shop
we
of the
named
Night.
we named that like kind of cleric person that resurrected Una after
Yes.
she was annihilated. We named him Bart, and he wanted
He's
us to find a ruby necklace, and she had it, but we haven't been able to take it back to him yet. But I don't know where it is now.
He is in the Chapel of the Night.
No, I know that. I don't know where it is. The necklace.
Una still has it.
She should still have it.
Okay, even after she's died a couple of times,
Yes.
I wasn't sure. Like,
Yes.
okay, cool. Sorry, just checking a couple boxes for the stuff I had written down. So I'm just like, whoa. Okay. Thanks, Justin.
Yes.
All right. Well, while we're on our way, Nesla would like to sit in the communal area and try to hook these 3 sticks together into a new weapon.
That will take some time.
Bernard will help him.
Okay. Again, still will take some time. It's not going to be like an instantaneous kind of thing.
Hey, Nesla.
Hi, Mark.
I think it might take a bit of time before we get to Sithicus. Might be real quick, but, it'll be a bit of time. I noticed you kind of looking at that stuff. You asked me to help you out with it earlier, but we didn't really find it the time, that is. Can I help now?
You may be able to. One, lay it out on the table and put one of each of the silver rods at the ends, and I place the immovable rod in the center. And
So,
yeah, trying to figure out how to connect these 3 pieces.
I've never seen something like that before. That's an interesting idea. I think I've got some, I think I've got some chainmail that we could use some of the rings and loops on that and see what we can do. To make some, chains for those things to connect. How's that sound?
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'll go grab some stuff and we can get to work.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Bernard will just go do that.
Okay. So what's everybody else doing? Una, Ophelia.
Chilling for the ride.
Una's getting used to the height change of everything. Going from 3 feet to like 7 or 8. She's just
Yeah.
like, oh, like, huh. That's what the top of your head looked like, Nesla. You know, you might wanna. You got a couple of mats back there. You might want to brush it out.
I'll start grooming myself in front of you.
Little to the left. She's gonna take his paw, just kind of guide him back a bit. There you go.
Sure.
Can dress you up, but can't take you out apparently.
I'm imagining the picture of that cat that's just like a heavy breathing cat like this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, we got this, we got that.
Justin, do we need to do any rolls for this?
Oh, of
or-
course.
All right.
And because it's technically using silver, jeez. Again, like this is attempting to create a custom weapon. It's not going to be like an instant take.
We're not asking for anything like, yeah, crazy. Yeah. Could you give us like a, because maybe, I guess we're not quite sure how much time we have and how much time you think it'll take and whether or not this will even be worth anything.
Well, you'll need Smith's tools,
Oh yeah, Bernard's got them.
and we'll need proficiency in them, obviously.
And he's got expertise in that.
Okay. And you're kind of messing around, so it'll probably take, I'll say, 8 hours total to make.
Okay.
Because you're trying to intricately kind of, connect these two things on a magic weapon and then kind of intricately connect it through chains and other things.
Okay.
So I'll let you roll advantage on a skill check using your Smith's tools.
Sweet.
Because and Nesla is there also kind of.
Yeah. Well, I believe one of my features from the Ild, the fire rune, is yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's where I get the expertise. So there we go. Okay. Blah. Okay, that is 15 plus proficiency.
20. Yeah, you can easily kind of start.
Oh, expertise. Sorry. 25.
Okay, you can easily kind of start the process, and again, it'll take about a few hours to.
All right.
Actually-
Just let me know whenever I need to make another check on it
Yep.
as the process goes through.
Yep.
Bernard's busy, guys. Maybe one of you could,
As Bernard's just kind of
maybe, one of you could look up some stuff on Sithicus. We're kind of jumping in blind on this one.
Anybody gonna do that?
I kind of lucked out last time I was in there. We can check it out if you'd like.
Go right ahead.
Alright. I assume it has technically been a day since I was in there.
Yes.
Right before.
Yes. So you go to the library and you kind of look around and try to like suss out the information you're looking for on Sithicus. I need a DC 20 investigation check. And you're there alone, so you can go for it.
Investigation +2, dirty 20.
All right, nice.
Oh fuck yeah! Jeez, buddy.
Right on.
Yeah, so both of them were
Right on the
dirty
fucking
20.
button.
All right, so you find 3 pieces of important information regarding Sithicus, as given much detail by me. After about, how long will this take you? Obviously, it's not going to be like instantaneous. Oof. About 3 hours. You're kind of in this library gathering knowledge regarding Sithicus, pouring through all the tomes that are in here. And you can basically suss out that Sithicus is also known as the Land of Spectres in the Elven tongue, and is one of the few domains in Ravenloft dominated by primarily non-humans, mostly elves in this case. Sithicus was created and formerly ruled by the Death Knight Lord Soth from the world called Kryn, before he disappeared, and it is now officially the kingdom of the Werebadger Azrael Dak. And that is the first part of the first kind of information. The second part is the Dark Lord of Sithicus. The Dark Lord doesn't have to be the ruler of the domain, you can suss out. The Dark Lord of Sithicus is a half Vistani, half Shadow woman by the name of Inza Kulchevich. And you're also probably going to be looking for information regarding something you already know, so, of where you're headed to, and the Keep of the Black Rose, where the kind of the shard of the Sunsword you're looking for is. The Black Rose was an order that was created by Lord Soth and his Death Knights that kind of followed him through the Order of the Rose. He would call himself the Knight of the Black Rose, and the Keep of the Black Rose has long since been abandoned since Lord Soth left Ravenloft. And it doesn't detail how he left Ravenloft, but he was one of the few to be able to escape. And yeah, this just mentions the keep has been long since abandoned, and it's rumored to be filled with creatures that would be in service to a very powerful Death Knight. And rumors speak of a powerful artifact lying within the abandoned keep. It also mentions that a darkness has taken over the keep of the Black Rose, and all who die within the keep stay dead in the keep, and are said to be risen as servants of the Order of the Rose.
We can't afford to get corrupted again, guys. It's just not gonna work out.
Okay, would I suss out the darkness that has taken over? It would have been similar to the darkness we experienced in the Temple of the Dark, Temple of Night.
Give me an insight check.
Ooh, that's not good. Insight. Oh, +8, so 19.
You can't suss it out. And that is the information you learn.
Alright. I'll bring most of that information back.
Okay?
Okay, so guys, kinda, I think I might know where the shard we're looking for is, but I don't think we're going to be able to take out the dark power that resides there. looks like it's going to be pretty well protected.
Sorry, didn't when you were saying that stuff, Justin? Didn't you say that the Lord Soth had left the keep?
He did, but there's still. I said there's still darkness permeating it, and there's still a Dark Lord in the domain. A domain always needs a Dark Lord.
Yeah, the domain does, but I thought you said that there wasn't one in the keep.
I said there's a darkness permeating the keep that doesn't let people. When people die in the keep,
Yeah.
their souls are basically sworn over to the Order of the Rose, and they get risen as servants.
Yeah. So no dying, guys. Good luck.
Bad bitch, you can't kill me.
No, not sure how this is going to affect you, but the rest of us, you know how we've kind of gotten a few chances here. I don't think
You guys
we'll
just let
get-
me face tank it. I'll take whatever comes at you, okay? I don't want any of you guys to go down again.
And I
Yeah.
don't want you to go down.
Well, you're
How
the
about we
one.
all
Hey,
stay up?
Doctor, I completely trust you to keep me up. Just as long as you trust me to take the hits.
Yeah, I do. I trust you. Can't trust myself though, but I trust you.
There we go. Look at this. Look at this group. Look at us, guys. Who'da thunk?
As the carriage is kind of moving, it feels like it's hitting something hard. There's like a
Boy. Hey, doctor. Do you know if your future self cared about whether or not the cart would run over like children crossing the street and stuff?
I honestly cannot say that
Maybe we
I've
should
given it any thought.
maybe we should check that stuff out. I'd be pretty sad if we happen to like, I don't know, hit stuff.
Well, I mean, stuff is a vague term. Like buildings, I wouldn't care about, but you know,
I
children,
would even.
yes.
I'd feel pretty bad if it was a rabbit or a deer too.
I'm gonna go check out what the carriage is hitting.
okay.
I'm gonna stop. Carriage, stop.
It lurches to a stop.
Thank you. She's gonna go outside and see what it's hitting.
Bernard's flanking her.
Sure.
Head over
Okay.
her shoulder.
Okay.
Right next to her head, just like
So he's bent over to head.
So you leave the foyer so you can get into the interior of the stagecoach, the actual like interior, to see out the windows. And in the middle of the path, looks like there's a 7-year-old little boy, all spread-eagled. All his bones are broken, and he's just like glassy eyes, kind of staring up at the sky.
Oh no!
And there's like a woman maybe in her like mid-30s, kind of kneeling over the body, just sobbing.
Doctor, quick, hurry!
Hurry! Let's back up and hit the other one. No witnesses.
Ophelia's gonna rush out. Oh my god! Just like, oh shit! Did we do that? Is he dead?
She's just crying at the corpse.
Oh shit! Ophelia's gonna go and just feel. Is he dead?
He's really cold.
he called it a corpse.
And you can see
He's
like
dead for longer than a minute.
and you can see like I don't know.
Get going quick! Stop thinking.
I don't want to waste your time, though.
Don't.
I'm just
Gotta
gonna
wait.
just.
And then the woman kind of like puts her head on the kid's chest and starts like punching the ground, screaming.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cast Revivify on him. Just pick up.
Okay.
Go.
The spell fails. The diamond is used up.
Mm. He's been dead longer than a minute.
Really?
Yeah. The spell still gets cast.
No, I mean,
The component still gets used up even if the spell doesn't work.
no, I know that.
Mhm.
I was just like, I don't know.
And the woman kind of looks up at you, Ophelia.
Yeah.
And the little boy disappears. And the mother kind of stands up and just looks at you. And her clothes kind of dissolve away and melt off her body. And what was once flesh and bone and
Bernard's stepping between
skin
you and that shit.
shifts into shadowy corporealness. And alright, you step in front of it. And it's just kind of floating there. And it starts whispering, like incoherent kind of whispering.
You need to speak up if you're gonna say something.
And I need Ophelia and Bernard to make wisdom saving throws.
As it speaks up.
Yeah, whispering just really loud.
You want me to speak up?
So yeah, wisdom saves.
I have no bonuses.
I'm not good at this. Oh, we rolling well today, boys. That's a 9.
9. Okay, that's a fail. Bernard.
14.
14 succeeds.
Ooh.
Ophelia, you take 2 points of psychic damage, and you must make a melee attack against Bernard. This thing's kind of like pointing a finger towards Bernard, and you feel compelled to make a melee attack against him. So please, roll a melee attack against Bernard.
Do it.
I don't have
It's not
any
gonna bother
weapons.
me.
I doubt I can actually fucking hit you. I don't have any weapons. It's just gonna be unarmed strike.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
No, that's cool.
19, 20, 22.
That's my armor class.
So Ophelia's kind of like
But
just
I'll-
swings
Yeah.
a punch.
Yeah.
I have like -2 strength. I'm not doing any damage.
And
Oh yeah.
well, at minimum 1 damage.
Oh okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing
you can't do negative, and you are doing damage because it's compelling you to attack him. So 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is nothing to him.
And yeah, so Bernard, you kind of see this shadowy looking individual just pointing a finger at you, and then that made Ophelia just go poof.
What else you got?
And then that means Una and Nesla can see this happening because you guys are kind of peeking out the windows. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh, I have advantage. Ooh. Thank you, D&D Beyond. For having me do 1 better.
Alrighty, so Bernard, what'd you get for initiative then?
7.
Ophelia.
14.
14. Nesla.
She's gonna get another hit on me.
17. So just so you, Nesla and Una know, you guys are still in the carriage, so it's an action to open up the carriage door and actually leave the carriage. For whoever goes up first, I mean. And Una, what'd you get for initiative?
21.
Una, you're first.
I'm gonna open up the carriage door.
That's your action.
Yeah. Keep it. I'm keeping it open.
Obviously.
Not closing behind me, obviously. And I walk up within like, cause that shadowy thing is there.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard's just staring at it like an adult.
Yep.
To a child.
He's just looking at it. I'm very disappointed.
I'm going to. How far the carriage ish?
10 feet.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get up to it.
Sure.
I'm going to. What is it? Use my cunning action.
Sure.
I'm going to disengage. I'm gonna get up to it. Cunning action, disengage. Then use my bolts from the grave on it.
Okay, make an attack roll.
22.
That hits. Don't roll damage. It's immune to necrotic. The bolts hit it and just nothing happens.
Okay, that's chill. Just gonna chill there.
Okay. I guess that'll be Nesla then.
Alright, I'm going to run up to it.
Sure.
I see the whisper part.
For sure.
Okay, 2 key points. Cast silence directly on us.
Okay.
And
Oh, shoot.
So now I feel you cannot cast spells.
well, it's a 20-foot sphere.
Exactly. I feel you can't cast spells in a silence.
And Bernard can't invoke any runes.
You can step back and then do it. And then I am going to
Okay, silence is up.
bonus action. I am going to melee attack.
Go for it.
Plus 5 is, or no, 11 plus 10 is 21.
Hits as you just into this incorporeal shadow-like black twisty entity.
8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, it's just gonna touch you on the shoulder and use its maddening touch.
Okay.
15 to hit. Monk, probably
No,
not.
it's not yet.
Yeah. Okay. Then it's going to use its incorporeal movement and just move out of the silent sphere, kind of just through you.
Oh, okay, so no attacks of opportunity.
Nope.
Gotcha.
And that'll bring it to Ophelia. You're in a silent sphere.
Am I still wanting to hit Bernard? Or
Nope.
Am I good?
That's only a one-time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Yeah, I bet your hand is just like, ow, mithril plate? Gee whiz.
I broke my other hand. So it moved 20 feet away?
40
40 feet. God damn it.
to get out of the silence kind of bubble.
Well, that's not what I was expecting. I'm going to stay here and spend a sorcery point to subtle spell.
Yes.
Cast a firebolt at it.
Okay. And because it's subtle, you can do it because it's subtle in the sphere of silence. So, well, in a sphere of silence,
20?
you just can't cast vocal spells. So if a spell is just somatic or material, you're fine. But
When subtle makes it, you don't need
yeah,
vocal.
exactly. So firebolt, roll attack. What did you hit? Hit.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits as this fire just goes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like it's as effective as you hoped.
No. Takes 18, so half of 18, I think.
Yep. 9.
Yep.
All right. So we just. Anything else?
And she's getting behind Bernard.
Okay, that'll bring it to Bernard.
I guess Bernard won't say anything, but he's going to gesture with his body and say stuff, even though people can't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, "What do we do? Let's just get back on the wagon and go."
And he's like turning around and gestures for them to just get back on the wagon.
Just like, let's go. This is why are we here? Let's go.
And then he'll like kind of gesture for them and then post up as defense and allow them to move whenever.
Okay.
I'll say he'll hold a he won't hold his reaction. He's just gonna stay there and put himself between them and just
Okay.
tell them to go.
Alrighty, that'll bring it to Una.
Una's just like, basically just kind of like, I don't want to deal with this. Okay, and she's gonna run onto the wagon.
Okay. That'll bring it to Nesla then.
Yeah, I'll kind of get the idea. I'm going to run over behind it,
Mm-hmm.
get its attention. 2 strikes, action.
Okay.
First one's 26.
Hits.
Second one is 30, 20.
Both hit.
First damage is 9. Second damage is 10.
Okay, it's starting to get real wispy.
Yes, go. That's my turn.
Alrighty. So it's the creature's turn, and its whispers of madness are not negated through a silence bubble, but everyone's kind of leaving the silence bubble because it's in your head. It's not out loud. You don't need to hear it for the whispers of madness to work. So, Bernard, Ophelia, and Nesla, wisdom saving throws, please. What'd you get, Nesla?
5.
5. You take 4 points of psychic damage and must make a melee attack against yourself. Punch yourself in the face.
Okay. Oh shit, 28.
Hits. Yeah. So roll damage on that.
7 points of damage.
Alrighty, Ophelia, what'd you get?
14.
14. Succeeds. And Bernard, what'd you get?
11.
Make a melee attack on Ophelia.
Does that use my
Reaction.
It uses my reaction.
Yes, it does.
Neat. Should have used my reaction. Then I wouldn't be able to make an attack. Alright. Well, this is gonna suck.
Go for it. I'm the tank. Let's.
I rolled a 3, so let's see what my bonuses give me to that. 13.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah.
Roll damage.
Yeah.
Just.
Oh, 9.
Owie.
I'm so sorry.
Ew.
And that'll bring it to.
Sorry.
What? Oh yeah, Nesla. Concentration check for silence.
Oh, well.
You punch yourself. Yeah, you punch yourself in the face. It's a con save.
Yeah. 12.
Cool. Still up. That'll bring us to Ophelia.
Ophelia is gonna get back on the carriage.
But they're just like, sorry.
Okay, that'll bring it to Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard's just like, let's go, Nesla.
Okay, so Bernard, Ophelia, and Una are out of combat, so that'll bring it right to Nesla.
Get on the damn carriage and go.
Everybody's already on the carriage. You can just
It's
walk
just
onto it
you.
and we're out of here.
Okay, single melee attack action.
Sure.
16 to hit.
Hits.
8 damage.
Dissipates in a cloud of smoke.
And I run and jump on the carriage.
All right. You're all back on the carriage. Combat encounter over.
Oh, I can, y'all should have gone ahead and gone. I can catch this carriage.
I don't know about that.
You wouldn't be able to. It's too fast.
We're not leaving without you.
I can move 300 and something feet per turn.
Only if you don't move for
Yeah.
the turn previous.
Yeah.
So that means on average you'd only be
It would-
moving 150.
No, on average it would be 240.
Oh right, yeah.
Or
But
no, you're
yeah,
right.
'cause you-
120.
yeah.
120 and 360.
You would not be able to catch up to the carriage.
Yeah. Based on how fast it's been established the carriage goes.
Speaking of carriage, go. Continue your journey, carriage.
Starts rolling off again.
Una's just looking between Ophelia and Bernard, and she's just like, well, I guess the honeymoon's over between the two of you.
What do you mean?
Little smacking back and forth there.
That was weird. Are you okay?
I am fine, doctor.
I feel real
Sure you
bad.
don't need a nap, Ophelia?
Like, I imagine I just got her right in the gut.
Like,
She's sitting there just like, I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
no internal bleeding.
Internal bleeding means blood is inside. That's where it's supposed to be. I'm fine. Okay?
This is
Yeah,
why
okay.
you're a doctor of the mind, not of the body.
Exactly. As long as blood stays inside, you're fine.
Alright, well,
Am I wrong?
yeah. But, we should probably, see about, because that totally had me tricked. I thought for sure we crushed some kid there. Is there any way we can, like, give directions to this thing to, like, avoid living creatures?
But was that thing living to begin with?
Well, who knows what we actually hit, if that's the case.
Here. Would you like me to sit up top?
Can you hold on?
I think Nesla's actually helping Bernard do this stuff, which is why he had advantage. So if you keep doing other stuff, it won't actually count for me whenever I do that. If we're working on those things together.
Una, could you sit up top?
Sure, what's the worst that happens? I die?
Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
it's so nice to hear you two care about me.
Well, I mean, you say that in a way, but I mean, we do now. We're in this together. We've been through a lot. That last thing at the temple, that was ridiculous. But we all made it through. There was a tablet with all of us on it. That's gotta mean something.
Means we were all present at that moment. That's all that means, Bernard.
It means we're a party, okay? It means we're a group.
Well, you can't choose your family. She puts her hand like on his shoulder, but he's like, you can choose your friends, and I guess I'm stuck with some friends. I'm glad it's you guys.
Ophelia looks really uncomfortable for a moment at that. Just Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go help Nesla. You guys play nice, okay? Jeez.
And Bernard's gonna go like shoulder up with Nesla and like kind of buddy around with him and try to work out his weapon that he's got going.
Be like, what you got here? So you want to do this? Oh, that's neat. Maybe we can just do a little thing here. Oh, yeah, okay. Take.
Give me another check.
Okay. Okay, that one is a 19.
All right. More of the process is completed.
Whoa. That's neat.
Anything specific? Una, you're going on top of the carriage.
Yep, we're just gonna get up there, hold on for dear life.
All right,
and
so
hope for the best.
as you climb out of the carriage to clamber, because you have to go out the door of the carriage to clamber up on top, and it's moving relatively fast to get where it needs to go. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as you attempt to clamber over it while it's moving at a fast speed.
Oh, we're fine with these, Bam. It's all good. I hope.
It's going pretty fast, so it might be a decently high DC.
24.
24.
Stop it.
You clamber on top, and you get into the seat where most people would sit to steer a carriage.
Cool.
You don't see anything. Just the road going through the forest. Lots of forests. Dark. Not much light penetrates the canopy of this forest currently.
Does the path ahead of us look like there's been people around here, like traveling through recently at all?
Perception check. With disadvantage because you're moving at a high speed. I forgot that's how perception checks work when you're moving real fast.
So, 20 and a 13. This is fine. 21.
Doesn't look like it. The tracks looks like they might be a month old or so.
Okay.
And with that perception check, you see lots of kind of webs up in the trees too, and like you swear one of the clusters of webs moves a bit, and then it goes still. And then you kind of hear like a not like a clicking of what sounds like mandibles, and then a weird sound, like something
I'm going to
pops out of
load my
existence. Sure.
crossbow.
All right, all attacks will be at disadvantage at this speed. So.
But I imagine at that speed they'll also pack a hell of a punch.
Nope.
No?
No change in that. No. But yeah. So you hear the clicking of like mandibles and like something like tapping on wood, and then you hear like a whoosh sound. Like almost.
Can I tell if it's more like behind us or is it just everywhere?
Sounds like it came from the west. So to your left. Or sorry, you guys are going south, so to your right.
I'm gonna like directly look at my right as we're going to see if I can see anything else.
Nope. Just more webs. They kind of have like a bluish tinge to them, but that's about it.
Bro.
Don't like this.
And then you hear another another sound.
Is there any way for me to like knock on the carriage to like alert the others to anything?
They wouldn't be able to hear it because it's technically a demi-plane in there.
Okay.
Get your ass inside.
And then you hear another and then you hear something thud on the roof of the carriage behind you.
I turn around and shoot the crossbow.
Attack roll with disadvantage because you're kind of just wildly shooting behind you. Yeah.
Oh, I rolled 2 12s anyhow. 21.
21. Okay.
Does that hit?
So when you turn around super fast, you see a spider, of course. It's relatively big. It's kind of taking up the entire back half of the carriage. It's kind of got like a white body with like blue kind of mandible's face, and the tips of its legs are also blue. Its eyes are kind of like ice bluish white. 21 to hit does hit, however. I also need you to roll initiative real quick. Una. And just Una.
Oh no. 22.
22. Okay. So, yeah, hits the weird looking spider that is, you know, white and blue and big, taking up the entire back half of this carriage. Roll damage on that. And no sneak attack because it was disadvantage.
10.
10 damage. Okay. And we'll say that was your turn. So it is gonna, as one of these crossbow bolts hits it in the eye, it's gonna, and then it's gonna scurry forward and bite into you.
Haha, shit.
Ooh, 23 to hit.
Ha.
So you spin around and then it just latches onto your arm and sinks it's these massive fangs into your arm, and you take 9 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
All will be good. We're good. Everything's fine. Probably. Maybe. Oh! 24.
Success. So you're not paralyzed from the poison,
For now.
which would have been great.
Hmm.
You take, however, you take 8 points of poison damage,
Yep.
and the spider's gonna disappear. Like a.
Are we still in it? Are we still in combat? Or
Oh yeah, yes. So that's your turn.
Can I climb? Can I like get to the back of the carriage and try to climb back in? Or that have to be 2 turns?
That'd be your movement, but it's an action to use the door. So
Yeah.
you can get on the side of the carriage, but you can't open it.
Oh.
You got your bonus action too.
Oh yeah, you have to use your action to open the door. Sorry, you haven't used your action yet. So it's your movement to get there. You have to use your action to open the door.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
And I'm gonna say this is difficult terrain because of the speed it's moving at. So as you do get up to kind of move around, I need a dexterity saving throw again.
27.
27.
And can I bonus action dash into the door? Like dash inside?
We have to use your action to open the door first.
Okay, I'm gonna use my action to open the door.
Okay?
And then bonus action dash.
Okay, you get inside the carriage.
And I'm just like, spiders, problem, spiders. And I'm like turning towards the door, just kind of like watching.
It latches onto the door as it reappears, and it's trying to like break through the glass of the door, but it can't. It's like, and then it just disappears again.
Yeah. Nesla and Bernard are off
Yep.
in a different room.
So is Ophelia.
Tink tink.
Una hasn't passed through the demi-plane yet to get into the interior of the stagecoach.
We're all just chilling. Really nice room.
I'm closing the door now. If it's my turn now.
Oh, the door wasn't closed. Since it's not entering the carriage, it's not going to disintegrate.
She knew.
So it's going to make a bite attack against you because it can still get to your arms.
Okay.
So it will make a bite attack at you through the door without entering the carriage. Nah, it's not going to hit. It's an 8.
Oh no.
So we'll say as it's like lunging to bite you, you close the door, just, and as it's falling off the carriage, it disappears.
I just kind of have my back against the door, just kind of like looking like, ha it.
Okay.
And I'm going to walk and try to find whoever I can find first. Like if it's Ophelia.
Most likely
or
Ophelia.
Nesla.
Bernard and Nesla are quite busy, so you'd be finding Ophelia most likely.
Just like, hey Ophelia, do you just a quick question. Are you arachnophobic by any chance?
I don't necessarily like spiders, but I'm not scared of them. Unless they're big, then it's like, oh no, not my thing.
It was pretty big.
Then you might not, just hear me out, you might just want to keep the door closed for now.
Okay.
Yeah, had very wonderful meet. She's just gonna hold her arm up like with bite marks. Just be like, had a nice little, chomping fest with a nice little spider. And yeah, I think we should just stay in here maybe for a little bit.
Are you okay? Do you need healing? Like,
Oh, I'm more or less fine. It's just a flesh wound, but I don't. That was just one of them, and that thing was huge, like half, like on top of the carriage, huge.
you're kidding.
I wish I was. Yeah, trust me, I wish I was.
Oh, that is.
And there were a bunch of cobwebs just in the trees as we were going. So I don't think he was just having a nice little bachelor pad to himself.
Noted. So we are staying inside the carriage until it stops.
Speaking of that, destination arrived. Bernard and Nesla, it's been another hour. You guys can roll for the check again. Basically, you need one more success for this to be finished.
That's a 25.
You put the finishing touches on it. It took you about 3 hours total. And you got the finishing touches in on Nesla's immovable rod that you can now use as a melee weapon.
Got the
Oh, that's super cool.
the tri-staff.
Yeah. I'll homebrew that item later. It'll basically just be a magical quarterstaff. So you can add a quarterstaff +1 to your inventory right now, and then I'll kind of muck around with it to make it also have the trick. Basically, I'll remove your immovable rod, and right now the quarterstaff +1 will be the immovable rod, and then I'll go through later and kind of homebrew something sexy and make a picture for it. So yeah, basically quarterstaff +1 that has the traits of a movable rod. So yeah, the carriage comes to a halt.
Look at what we did, Nesla. This looks great.
I know it's awesome, and I give you a hug.
Oh, yeah.
And it does. And Bernard will hug Nesla back, give him a pat.
Yeah, I think we got a test dummy right there if you want to give it a whack. before we head out, practice a little bit before you try it on anything.
All right. Um, uh, let's if we're at our destination, we might have something out just sitting outside. This sounded like a pretty bad place.
Yeah,
I'll,
I mean,
I'll, I'll, I'll keep this one and
I'm fairly
kind of.
confident in my work, but I just, I figure I'll give it a couple swings at something before. So, sure. Yeah, I mean, you break your stuff in a certain way, I'll break my stuff in a certain. Everybody's got their own thing. You great, Nesla. Let's go do this.
Uh, so, as soon as we get outside, I'm gonna start playing with it.
All right. So you're leaving the carriage. You're not.
I assume since we're at our destination, we were headed out to find everybody else.
Okay.
Hey guys. Nesla and I got our little project done.
Check it out.
Wow.
Hold it out.
That's great. I love that. Oh my goodness. How do you boys feel about spiders?
I don't like them. I don't like them at all, actually. It's like one of the worst things to run into when you're, going across old ancient ruins. They crawl across your hand, give you the heebie-jeebies. Ugh, little buggers.
Hey, Ophelia, I guess you're going to be doing some exposure therapy today with Bernard, potentially.
What?
Mm.
Wait, what?
We love that.
What's going on?
Luna, why don't you tell them what you saw?
You know how big the carriage is? Like when we step outside of it. Like you can see how big it is, right, guys?
Yeah.
Imagine a giant spider on the back half of the top of it.
Wait, it's half the carriage?
You're just gonna show her arm with the bite marks.
Yeah, they're pretty sizable puncture
Wow.
wounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like the size of puncture wounds that a giant spider would make. And you've all most likely seen giant spiders.
Oh, okay.
I mean, giant spiders are pretty common.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, but we hadn't run into any like in the adventure yet, so
No.
like that's all that Bunsen's kind of known. So it's like he's only dealt with like small, tiny spiders.
Fair enough then. Okay.
So when we go outside, just watch your step.
Oh boy. Okay.
Are you gonna be okay, Bernard?
Yeah, I'm taking the lead. Like I said, I'll just face tank these guys. Ugh. Let's go.
You can do this, Bernard. You have us. We'll back you up on these spiders.
Yeah, it's just bigger versions of creepy little sons of guns. Okay.
Alright. Let's go.
Alright. So you guys get into the interior of the carriage, not the demi-plane part, and you look out the carriage windows. And the forest ahead of you is very dark, but there are torches nearby that kind of are like embedded in the ground. And there's a sign nearby that says to Sithicus, 1 mile. And in front of there's just dense forests all around. And you get the sense the carriage cannot traverse through said forests. And ahead of you there's a path and a large kind of cave-like system, and the sign is pointing through the cave, and the cave entrance is also too narrow for the carriage to fit through. Also, looking through the windows, you see the trees are just coated in spider webs and kind of hanging cocoons, and the ground is also kind of just coated in spider webs.
Well, it's beginning to look a lot like winter time here.
Yeah, oh boy.
Oh, Justin.
Yeah.
Quick. When we rose from the dead, would that have, and all of our our corruption was removed. Was that a long rest or no?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I'm just gonna click that in and redo the damage that was done by the other stuff. By Ophelia. So,
1 point.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you guys see.
So,
Okay.
do you guys just want to make a run for it? Do you guys want to try to be quiet? Any preference?
Well, we can't leave the cart here.
Unable to be collapsed into a little version.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Takes a minute.
Don't worry. Okay, don't worry about it. I can get it little and put it away.
Alright, let's take care of that first.
You have to be outside of the carriage to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shrink's gonna do the shrink, all right.
Okay, everybody, post up.
Is she when do we know if it's going to take her like will she be essentially taken out of any situations if she is in the process of like
Yes,
is
it
she
takes
just-
1 minute. It takes 1 minute.
right, but is she actively doing it or
Yes,
does she just hit the
actively.
main word and it automatically does that?
Actively.
Okay.
Oh, so then once everyone's out and ready, she will begin that process.
So you guys get out. There are spider webs all over the ground. You kind of step on. You kind of get when you get on the ground. There's a little bit of tension, but that's about it.
Alright, everybody group up here around Ophelia for just a minute.
Yep.
I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace.
Nice.
Okay. That means I need to look up something. Not patches. Oh,
But for everybody else, that's +10 to stealth.
A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage.
So a plus
Within-
10
I
on
just say
top of her bonuses?
have to stay within 3 feet of Nesla for-
Yeah, because radiates from him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do you plus 10 to stealth plus what we already have?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Una can potentially get like a stealth score in the 40s.
I have a 24 to stealth it right now.
Right. At this point,
And then Ophelia will put it away.
okay.
And let Bernard take the lead. He said he's leading this one.
So, yes. Guess we gotta try and do this stealthy then. Move forward, creep into this darn creepy darn tunnel with all these creepy damn cobwebs. Alright, let's go.
And he starts going into the tunnel. He's like, well, hold on. There's no reason for us to go into the tunnel, though, right?
It's the only way forward. That's what the sign's
okay.
pointing. Yep.
Okay. I wanted to make sure because there was like a whole forest and it's just like there was just a tunnel or like a cave and we're just like, oh yeah, go there. It's like we could just go into a dead end of spider pit and it's like, oh, why'd we go in here in the first place? Anyway, that was my train of thought.
But yeah, sure. If this sign is not lying to us, and we're not just walking into a spider den, let's keep going.
And he's walks on ahead.
Okay. Very cool. And every time you guys take a step, you do feel the tension from the spider webs, just kind of rippling out a little bit. And you get towards the mouth of the cave.
Does Una hear any more with his mandibles clicking
Nope.
or anything?
Just eerily silent. You don't hear the sound of wildlife. Generally, when you guys have been in forest, you probably would have heard like birds and bats specifically. Eerily silent. And you guys get to the mouth of that cave, though.
Yeah.
You guys see that area around me where the shadows are a little bit darker? You need to stay within that. And as soon as I step through the mouth of the cave, I'm going to cloak of shadows invisible.
Okay.
So I will not pull out the lantern. Alright, love it.
And you see the cave, and it's about a 10-foot diameter tunnel. No. About 5 feet wide, 10 feet tall. And cloaked in webs. Like the walls are just slick with webs. And the ceiling and the floor still.
So we're trying to get rid of all light near us, correct?
There is no light. There's just the torches at the cave entrance.
Okay, well, I mean, there is light because Bernard always has that thing.
Oh,
So
correct, then there is light.
He's gonna dim it. He's gonna, like, take it down and turn it off.
Okay.
If that's the goal. I just wanted to make sure that Bernard wasn't being a freaking vegan for us at this time. Okay.
Alright, yeah, we're good. Where'd Nesla go?
Now, put my hand on his shoulder.
Yeah. Is that you? Oh, okay. Alright. What was that?
Did you hear that?
If you guys are trying to be stealthy, I need stealth checks.
Okay.
Ooh, that was good, but... oh.
Mithril, you don't have disadvantage.
Oh. Cool. Nice.
Do I get an extra advantage for being invisible as well?
Yep.
Oh, don't need it. Okay. Stealth, that actually puts me at 40.
Okay, 40. Una?
40!
Ophelia?
23.
Okay. Bernard?
27.
Okay. So you guys are moving real quiet. There isn't any trace of you, no footprints, nothing like that. But again, with every step, the webs do kind of tremble a little bit. And you guys move.
See anything?
You guys push through this tunnel. And you come out into a kind of an opening area that has about 10 other tunnels kind of just cascading in different directions. All about the same width as this one, 5 feet by 10 feet. And in this open chamber, it's maybe about 20 feet wide, 30 feet tall. And there's about 25 cocoons just kind of hanging from the ceiling. Some are humanoid sized, some are smaller, like animals. You can easily see, like, in some of the cocoons, like deer, rats, rabbits. In the one corner against the wall, there's a cocoon that's not suspended from the ceiling. It's kind of plastered against the wall, and it's a brown bear. And again, it just cocoons all over the ceiling, kind of like macabre curtains, like those bead curtains that people have that from the 70s or whatever, but all just
Justin.
spider
You're
cocoons.
You're weaving a fucking horrific tapestry for me right now.
Weaving.
I love it.
And yeah, there's small like little boulders that are also covered in webs, and you kind of see tiny little spiders scurrying around. the size of normal spiders, white bodies, kind of blue tips, and they're kind of scurrying around. They see you guys. They can see you guys, but they kind of just scurry away.
Hey, do you guys know where we need to go next?
And one of the cocoons actually like reaches out and touches Bernard on the scalp, just kind of like just not like doesn't know you're there kind of thing because he can't see. Just kind of his hand kind of like drapes across your scalp.
Bernard does one of these.
I'm looking around to make sure it's not attracting anything.
You hear a approaching from one of the tunnels facing you.
We gotta move, guys. We gotta keep moving.
And there are large boulders in here you can easily hide behind and stuff. Stalactites, stalagmites. The clicking gets closer and closer, and through that tunnel,
Una's gonna jump into that cocoon behind the dude.
Oh shit.
Just kind of like wiggle behind and hide herself.
I feel bad if we.
Dex.
Sorry, I just remembered something.
You're jumping into a cocoon.
Because like he said, he jumped out, so I imagine it was kind of.
He didn't jump out. His arm just kind of draped on Bernard's head.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was.
And
like,
it's hanging from it's hanging from the ceiling.
Oh.
And you wouldn't be able to fit in that cocoon with your current size.
Lord.
So, I believe Nesla can only have Pass Without Trace or Invisibility.
Correct. Both are concentration. So Nesla, pick one.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought Shadow Step was...
Nope. It's still but you're still channeling a spell, so it's still concentration.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me, Garrett.
Yeah.
So you're keeping Pass Without Trace or Invisibility?
Pass Without Trace.
Okay, so Nesla, he disappears for like a second, then reappears. Okay. And yeah, you can hear that approaching, and you can kind of see a glint of like ice blue eyes down the north tunnel, and it's just approaching. Kind of its long arms, long legs, just kind of like grasping onto rocks and slowly making its way towards you guys, but it has not seen you yet.
Are we hiding or are we moving?
I think we should hide for a little bit. We need to figure out where we need to go. We can't just go into any tunnel.
Are there any stalagmites?
There's. Yes, there's a lot of stalagmites. A lot of these ground cocoons are kind of built on, are kind of like connected to stalagmites.
I think we should avoid moving.
I'm going to try.
I think we should avoid moving, though.
Okay, I couldn't hear anything because you guys were talking at the same time.
Sorry, I was saying I think we should avoid moving because
yeah, I couldn't hear Jeremy. What'd you say, Jeremy?
Oh, I was going to say I'm just going to go to the other side of the stalagmite that is like opposite the tunnel where I can hear something coming.
Stealth check. The webs again, as he moves, the webs kind of tremble, and the spider in the tunnel stops.
And his aura
moves as well.
End up leaving the Pass Without Trace aura.
Yes.
No, that's what I was saying. Is I'm trying to hit the middle of the room.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you get to one of the stalagmites in the middle of the room, but even though you move on the webs, that spider in the tunnel stops moving completely, and just kind of posts up. All right, yeah, it stops moving still. And it just stares right at that stalagmite where Nesla's hiding behind. And then it resumes its crawl forward. And it kind of gets to the back of the stalagmite that Nesla's on. And it's kind of like long spider arms kind of drape around the other side and kind of run over Nesla. And it kind of just looks around like it can't see him. Doesn't make you invisible. Passes no trace. It's kind of just looking around, trying to sense the movement. And you're all just being incredibly still. For this, I also want everybody to make stealth checks for this too, to see how still you can be. Because yeah, you noticed it stopped moving when Nesla moved, and the webs kind of went like it's sensing through the webs still. Okay, Bernard, what'd you get?
19.
Ophelia?
I got a natural 1, so 11.
It is automatic failure. Okay. What did Una get?
Do we still have the +10 for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pass without trace.
2.
Pass without trace lasts for an hour. Okay. So Ophelia kind of lets out a little breath, and her body does shift a little, and the spider just looks right at Ophelia, kind of dismounts the stalagmite, and slowly crawls up to Ophelia, and gets into her face, and just kind of like trying to see, like, determine where she is, and it's like looking around. It's gonna lift up one of its legs and kind of just prod Ophelia. Ophelia, dexterity saving throw to see if you get knocked over. Just
14.
14. There's like a slight bit of movement, but you regain your composure and it's still looking at you, staring into your... It's like literally this close, like face to face almost. Its mandibles are like kind of clicking in front of your face. You can see like the venom dripping off the mandibles. You can see like bits of like ichor from like creatures it's probably digested hanging from its... just dripping out.
No, she doesn't because she's closing her eyes. Like, no.
Okay.
No.
And then it kind of just relaxes, and it turns back to where that guy on the ceiling is just like, and it just kind of reaches up with 2 of its legs and just takes the cocoon off the ceiling, plops it on the ground, and starts feeding and drinking from inside the cocoon. Just you can hear the slurping sounds as it's slowly digesting this guy in the cocoon.
Right in front of Ophelia?
Right in front of Ophelia.
Meanwhile, that guy's just like, oh!
He's screaming. Yeah, he's screaming.
Fuck!
And then silence from the cocoon as it goes still. And then...
Just trying to be as still as possible.
Okay. And then there's a, there's kind of like a wet snapping sound. And the cocoon kind of splits open. And you can see what might have been an elven male at some point, but his flesh is like clinging to bones. Like he's clearly like severely emaciated and drained of all fluids. And his face is just frozen in his final scream. And as the cocoon splits open, through all of his orifices, his eyes, his nose, his mouth, his ears, hundreds upon hundreds of little baby spiders just come pouring out, just like, and start scurrying up the walls and disappearing into the other tunnels. The big spider takes like one last look around, and then drags the body behind with it. Kind of like webs him up and then keeps the web attached to its abdomen, and then just drags the body through the tunnel it came through.
Peek around, like trying not to move my feet. Peek around the stalagmite.
Now you see it. You see it scurrying. You see it scurrying through this like tunnel, and it just disappears around a bend.
Kind of an off-color joke, but at least it took him out to eat first.
There you go.
If Una could give you inspiration for that, she would.
I hate that with every inch of my being.
So yeah, the spider crawls away. The baby spiders finally start like going down different tunnels. And you guys are seemingly alone for the time being. It goes back to being eerily silent.
I think it's detecting when we're moving. We might need to like sprint and then stop, sprint and then
Pick up.
stop.
If you guys see any like pebbles or rocks on the ground, pick them up. Maybe we could use them to distract.
You don't see any pebbles. You see lots of bones.
We could pick up some bones.
You, Ophelia, and everyone that kind of noticed in the corner. There's definitely a child-sized skull, humanoid, kind of just laying there on the ground. Bones of all sorts of creatures in here. Horses, again, bears, rabbits. You can see just tiny bones everywhere, human bones everywhere. Well, humanoid bones, rather.
Yeah, Bernard's gonna sheath his sword and like pick up bones as they go.
Okay.
Who's gonna go over and pick up the skull?
You pluck it off the webs and it kind of detaches.
Hey, York, how you doing, bud?
You take 19 points of psychic damage.
It's God telling you to stop.
You could have easily have just cast what? Speak of Dead?
You don't take that damage. That's a joke.
So do you,
But as you're holding up that skull, one of those baby spiders does crawl out one of the eye sockets onto your hand and then just droops down on a web and then scurries away.
Oh, I hate you so much. She just kind of like take the web that was hanging, just kind of drop it.
Yeah, and there's about 10 tunnels ahead of you guys.
anyone know how to pick which one we go down?
Do any of them look more spider webby than the others?
Nope, they all look roughly the same. Perception checks though, everybody. No, not right now. Sorry, wrong room. Never mind.
Um,
Which one did the big spider go down?
The middle tunnel directly in front of you.
Okay, so we're not going
And the big
down.
spider had a white body, a kind of blue face. Well, not really a blue face, a blue head, and the tips of its legs were blue. Una, that spider looked similar to one of the ones that attacked you on the carriage.
Yeah, that bad boy who took him out to eat, that on top of the carriage, guys. That big, not fun. Yeah.
boy. Okay, well, I don't know. We can't just pick at random. We have to figure out something.
I don't know if this is gonna work or anything, but I'm gonna go like kind of so I'm like by all of like the tunnels, and I am going to use detect magic because apparently I can now.
I think that caught. Remind me, Garrett, does Detect Magic take time to cast?
It says casting time 1 action.
Cool. So you pop it up. Um, in this little room is the only thing that pops off as something magical. This little open room you guys are in currently. It's coming from the spider webs where that bear is.
I'm gonna go walk over to the bear and give it a little look-see.
What you doing? What's going on?
I think he might give some good information. Here, you like looking at ruins and stuff? Just think of this as a biological ruin.
What? It's a bear.
As I get up to it in like its cocoon,
Mm-hmm.
is it moving like the
No.
other thing?
It's super dead. It stinks. Like everything, this room does stink of death and rot, obviously, but it's not moving.
I'm gonna like turn around, just be like, something's up with this cocoon. I'm gonna try to cut it open. Does anyone have any objections?
Why? What do you mean something's up? What's going on?
I saw something funky up with this.
Like what? You gotta be a little bit more specific here.
Coming back as
Does detect magic tell you what school of magic you detect?
it just says
Yes, thank you. Necromancy.
she's kind of like holding her dagger up and she's like, looks like we got some necromancy going on here. So do you want me to leave it? Do you want me to cut it open?
Necromancy's kind of tricky. Some of it brings people back to life. Others brings people back from death.
Regardless, it would be for the best if you left it alone.
All right. I will respect the group. And I'll put her dagger back down.
Okay.
She just tossing York up in the air. Just like tossing it and catching it. Just kind of like so.
Realize tough is tougher than we opted. If we get the logic one.
Oh,
Yeah, someone, that was my idea. There are some holes in it. It's not 100% proof. That could happen or it could not. What do you guys have? Sorry.
I think it's a terrible idea to split up. I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
Is the idea wasn't to split up.
Bernard, I know, but I'm putting my 2 cents out there.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're all agreed that we should split up. Thank you.
That sign, it did say a mile, right?
Yeah.
Like a mile south Spitza? So, how far do you
Sithicus.
think we've walked so far? Sithicus.
Mixed campaigns.
At least I said it right for once.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we've gone too far. If we kept at this pace, we'd probably get there in about 3 of 4 hours.
Are we just eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Like, pick one?
No,
That's honestly strongest.
I mean,
Sprint, stop.
who wants to roll the d10? I guess if we really want to go random, but that's not something I like. Again, Justin knows this. I love doing it for um, Tomb of Horrors, because just pick random from that, because your characters are bound to die. But
Yeah, and who's to say all these tunnels aren't connected back somewhere?
yeah, yeah.
Is there any differences between any of the tunnels? Like any markings or anything?
No, they just go off in different directions. Up, down, left, right. diagonal.
Okay, I see. Okay, if we're gonna do this kind of random, I say we just go straight across from where we came, even if we have to follow it up.
Maybe this. Hey guys, maybe the spider knows what he's doing, knows where he's going. For all we know.
Yeah, I bet the spider does know where it's going.
Like
Probably.
Alex Bernard.
It's probably going to its like den, wherever it lives.
Yeah, we want to just go on there. You know what? Let's pick one of the ends. That's my choice. One of the ends. We pick one end and go into that one. Then we just stay on the far side. Just always take a left. That means we're the furthest away from the center of this thing as possible. Even if it's a long way around, we should be safe.
It's a solid idea.
You know?
All right, let's do this.
Alright, guess we go left.
You're going left? Okay.
Yeah, of all of them, if they're all ranked, if
Yeah.
there's 10 tunnels and they're all ranked 1 to 10, I'm choosing the 1.
One would be left. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're looking down that one. Again, same width as the one you just left.
Huge fucking spider. Fuck.
And it seems like it after about 20 feet, it goes down. It disappears.
Like steep?
You can't tell from where you're standing.
Okay.
Do y'all want me to go try to check that out?
Nope.
How close is the next tunnel?
About 15 feet beside it. Or sorry, 15 feet. That would not make sense. Literally nestled right next to it.
Okay, so we can go like this and look down that one?
Yeah. And that would be the one that's straight ahead.
Yeah, sure, we'll have a look.
That's the one the big spider went down.
Right. What's it look like?
Same as all the others, just straight, complete straight, and then it curves after about 50 feet to the left.
Okay.
And then some of the other tunnels are actually like higher up on the wall, like 10 feet up and stuff.
Should we try to go up and see if it leads to the ground level?
Yeah.
You guys are on ground level still currently. You haven't had made any descents down or anything.
Well, I assume since we went into a cave, there's ground above us.
Nope.
Like a hill or mountain or something.
Doesn't look like it if you look up in that tunnel.
Okay, so the cave is just made of spider webs?
No, it's rock.
Right. So, here let's check out the one all the way on the right.
After about 5 feet, a very wet, slippery slope going down. For about 100 feet, and then it just darkness. It is fairly dark in here. It is a spider cave. So it's basically saying it's going to be saying it's dim in here.
Yeah, Bernard's got 60 feet, dark vision, with his eyeballs.
Yeah, it just goes. You see. Okay, cool. Yeah, you see 60 feet and then darkness down that slope.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. I guess if we went all the way to the right, might as well like have a look at all of the ones that are on walking that we can
Yeah.
actually get into easily. Just have a look down them, see if
Yeah,
any
yeah.
of them just look like they're heading straight or curving, and
Most of them are just curving, going down, going up, straight. The only straight one is the one that bit spider went down.
I'd rather I'd rather go up. Then if we need to run away real quick, we'll just need to slide down as opposed to climb up.
And webs cover the floor, walls, and ceilings of each tunnel. So sliding might be a little difficult.
Right.
Because every time you guys are like taking a step, there's like a little bit of tension as you pull off the web.
okay.
Burn it all down.
Yeah. Oh man.
Set the place on
Ooh.
fire.
Ooh. You know. Now. Riddle me this. Okay. Give me a check. Give me a think here. If, for instance, we burned all of the entrances to these tunnels, they wouldn't be able to feel like if we burned all of the entrances to the tunnels and we picked a tunnel, none of the spiders in the other tunnels would be able to feel us because the connection would be broken.
You would know they'd probably feel the tension of something burning the webs, though.
Yeah, like the slacking.
Yeah, it might cause them to come scurrying along.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also assuming that these tunnels don't connect some other way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You want to turn back? I'm feeling now, guys.
This was the only way to Sithicus.
Says
Just
that
giving you
sign.
more exposure therapy, Bernard. Gotta face the spider fears, right?
Should we just go down the one the spider came down? Like,
That's my vote, if it counts for anything.
Yeah, I'm not voting to go down. The moment the tunnels start to go downwards, nope. All right, guys. If I'm the one leading the charge, so I guess I'll just pick one. And you know what? You guys said it, and I guess we'll do it. We'll just go down the one that drug a dude.
You're going down the middle tunnel.
I mean,
just go
nobody else is.
straight.
All of the ideas that I threw out there had a lot of holes in them, and this one might as well just go right towards the one that we know's there, right?
We know what's down there.
Fuck.
It's alright, we have the element of surprise. We've got your back, Bernard.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, you definitely have my back, but I don't think we have the element of surprise. All right, let's go.
I guess Bernard will just start walking.
All right, who's behind Bernard? Because it is 5 feet wide tunnels, 10 feet tall. So who's behind Bernard?
I'll go
So
behind
I've
them.
got his back.
Oh, the tunnels aren't circular?
They are, but they're like
Oh,
not big.
right, yeah.
They're more oval like. So 5 by 10.
Okay.
So who's behind Bernard?
Right here.
Okay, and who's behind Nesla?
I'll go behind Nesla.
The rear.
Okay. And you guys start going, and it's narrow. Again, webs, difficult terrain. So every time you take a step, there's like a little bit of tension, then your foot comes free from the webs. You're brushing up against the walls. Una's definitely brushing up against the walls now as a furbolg. So that means Ophelia cannot get through Una, and vice versa. Bernard and Nesla wouldn't be able to get through Una based on the dimensions. It isn't how big she is.
Okay,
she's sick.
So, what happens with the webs if Bernard like takes the sword out and just kind of like, because he knows he's already making a mess of him with his own feet as he's going through them.
Mhm.
So if he takes the sword, and does the sword get caught up in it when he like tries to cut it, or will it slice the web?
Kind of just bunches up.
Okay, so he's gonna like clean it off real quick. It's just like a test thing for him. Just to put it back, and it is, yeah.
And then after about 50 feet, it curves to the left. And you can kind of see the trail of ichor all across the webs from where that corpse was kind of dragged.
Great. Hey, I think the good news, guys. The good news is, there's 4 of us, so that means 8 legs. So they might think that we're just another spider.
Does anybody here know the footsteps of a spider?
And then eventually, you guys come out, and there's a staircase going down, made of stone. Just
Staircase.
of stone, carved like into the stone. And then there's like another open room, full of pots and urns. More of these cocoons, like more not cocoons, sorry, desiccated, dried corpses. And it looks like this room is just full of equipment, adventuring equipment, mundane equipment. And then urns and pots. And in the one corner of this room, it's about 40 feet by 40 feet. There's a chest in the far right corner. It's like a gold chest with brass buckling and kind of hinges and everything. And there's about 5 more tunnels just kind of on the walls. And then in the center of the room is another large tunnel going straight down. And that tunnel is about 25 feet in diameter. The one in the middle of the room, right on the floor.
Hey, Luna,
What's up, Bernard?
you mentioned a vibe earlier. You picking up anything around here?
Has it been like 10 minutes, Justin?
Oh yeah. The deliberation, the moving through the tunnel, it's been more than 10 minutes. I'll say it's been more like 15.
Sorry, Bernard. Gonna fail that vibe check here.
Alright.
So looking around this place, did we enter this area through like a natural opening, or does it look like we went through like a busted-in wall?
Busted in wall.
Okay.
But there are stairs that go down that went up into the tunnel. It's almost like something too big for the doorway carved a tunnel. And then the tunnel would have collapsed in some section. That's kind of how these look like. They're burrowings now, more than anything.
So does it look like the thing that the opening that we came into this room, does it look like it was busted inward or busted outward?
Investigation check.
That is 17.
Outward.
Okay, so
Into the room.
Oh, okay. All right.
And you can kind of see the remains of a really old, like, rusted door hinges on the ground. And again, this room, the floor is coated in webs. Actually, hold on. Look at my notes. It is not, the floor of this room is not coated in webs. It's just like big desiccated corpses all over the floor. There's that chest in the corner. And a massive 25 diameter another tunnel just going straight down in the middle of the room, almost like a pit. And there are spider webs kind of around the pit. And then on the east wall, so to the right, is 3 tunnels. Same diameter as the one you just left, and then on the left wall, 2 tunnels, same diameter as the one you just left. And the room is kind of just filled with, again, mundane equipment, corpses, and urns, pots, vases, and a chest in the right corner.
Hey guys, I don't know what happened to this, if this is the keep or not, but it looks like at some point these spiders came and invaded it.
It doesn't look like a keep. It looks like it was more of, you can't really tell what it was.
Okay.
Based on the room, yeah.
Whatever this place was, looks like these spiders just, force of nature, just kind of busted through here.
And the tunnel in the middle of the floor that goes straight down definitely does not look natural. It looks like it was burrowed. Just like all the other ones, but this one's bigger, 25-foot diameter.
Alright, I'm gonna,
Can you see the bottom of it?
Nope.
looks like there's a chest over there. Buddha, you wanna go have a look at that for us?
Oh, I was hoping you were gonna ask, Bernard. Una goes and walks over to it and just, before she touched it, just kind of takes a closer look at it. See if there's any weird, like, inscriptions or anything.
Cool, give me an investigation check.
$29.
Kind of carved into the latch is a faint pattern. And it's faintly glowing a little bit. Nobody else can see it.
I look towards, like, Ophelia and Bunsen, and I'm just like, I feel like bad things are gonna happen once I open this, if my eyes are right. I don't know, I think somebody didn't want anybody, just opening this. Any
what
of
do
you
need?
good with,
Is it a... Is it a
magical locks,
Oh,
sir?
Is it a trap or is it a... You said magical?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm decent at magic.
Like on the little latch there's some weird glyphs.
So she's
The magic.
She's pointing at the latch. It's not a glyph, but it looks like a symbol carved into the latch itself, and it's glowing faintly.
I'm not into the freaky deaky magic stuff, so Ophelia?
Ophelia will step up. Is it magical in nature?
I don't know. Do you have the abilities to detect that? It looks like there's a symbol carved into the latch, into the metal itself, and the symbol itself looks like it has a faint glow to it, but you can't tell if maybe it's the light. It's kind of pouring in through cracks, or
I do not have detect magic.
okay.
But you have proficiency in Arcana.
Yeah.
You can give me an Arcana check if you want. But you need proficiency in it to do the check. So you do have it, so yeah.
I do have it. And Garrett, is the rune still active? Uvar?
Yeah. He
so
re-ups it on you every morning.
Okay, so then I do have advantage on Arcana checks. So that is a natural 20 for a 25.
It appears slightly magical.
Okay.
Or at least to your eyes it appears magical.
You love that wording.
So your tiefling eyes.
It's my best guess is that it is magical. Yes, that is good eye. Good eye.
And you said it was just on the lock?
Carved into the latch.
Is it like a... the latch, is it like a padlock thing covering a...
The chest doesn't appear locked. It's just the latch that we use to like lift up the hinge and kind of open the chest. That part has the thing carved into it.
You guys want me to open it anyhow?
Hold on. Do any of you have...
Forget. Oh, I don't think anybody has Mage Hand.
Nope, nobody has Mage Hand.
I'm the only caster here.
Jeez, this is weird.
You guys can all back up. I can open it.
Just one moment.
And how big is this thing?
The chest,
Yeah.
about 10 feet wide,
All right.
4 feet tall. It's a big chest.
Bernard is thinking about picking it up, but before he does,
Mm-hmm.
he wants to give a look around it to make sure that there's nothing that would be tripped if he picks it up.
Investigation check.
That is a 24.
It just looks like some of the webs that are connecting to the chest might have some of the corpses that are kind of slung up on the walls just to come loose. If the chest is moved in any way.
Oh, the corpses would move?
Yeah. They'd
Because
fall.
they're leaning up against the chest?
Yeah, not really. The webs are kind of anchoring them to the walls, but also anchoring to the chest.
Oh, the webs are touching the chest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just on the sides. With that investigation check, based on what you're looking for, yeah, the webs are kind of connecting to the back of the chest.
Oh boy, I don't know. This might be not worth the trouble.
What if there's something really neat inside, Bernard?
Yeah, what if we hit a child on the road?
Speaking from experience, we probably shouldn't, do anything that might make us lose any limbs or anything.
The only thing that I'm
You still
worried
have
about
one
is...
more arm?
Hold on.
And Bernard will take out the Sunsword and hold it up to that just to make sure that it's not the other piece that's in there.
Nope.
Okay.
Alright, so at least it's not the main thing we're looking for. Whatever it is in there. So it's safe to just leave behind if we need to.
Yeah, my votes we stay on mission.
What do you guys think?
I say we leave it.
Oh, I guess it's 3 against 1. I won't touch it. But if we come through here on the way back, can I touch it?
Of course.
You betcha. We're gonna be
100%.
running our asses off.
Perfect.
Alright, which one we going?
That said, Justin,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of escape plans, does it take a whole minute for the carriage to
Yes.
turn back into its okay? Good to know. Right.
So it looks like we've gotten a few paths out of this room. Do we want to just take the stairs since it seems like it's too small for the spiders?
There's no webs up there, right?
There's webs still in all the tunnels.
Not the stairs, right?
You guys came down the stairs. That's where the door is broken out
I thought
from.
you said there was another set of stairs.
Nope, that's the only one.
Oh. So. Oh. Weird.
Yeah.
So this room that we're in is just kind of an anomaly underground.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
A bunker?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Justin, now that chest is really tempting. Because this is just like someone's hidden freaking nook. If we look around the rest of the room, is there anything that might give away what type of, whose place this is? Like any parchment or...
Nope. No parchment whatsoever.
You said that there were some corpses.
There are.
If we go have a look at them, is there anything we can pick up from, how they're how they're dressed or?
Not wearing any. They're not wearing any equipment. They're just desiccated, nude corpses.
No driver's license.
Nothing at all.
Okay. All right.
They look like different races: humans, dwarves, elves, tieflings.
But they're naked, huh?
Completely nude. Everything is dried up and desiccated. No equipment on them whatsoever.
Weird. So we're in the bomb shelter of a serial killer that got that has all these naked bodies. That got
Give me an investigation
invaded
check.
by a spider.
Investigation or medicine check looking at the bodies.
Okay. Sorry, I'm completely bought into the story of this room, Justin. This reminds me of like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls when you like go into a room and then like there's all these things that are like, what happened here? So I got a 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the bodies look like. It's hard to tell again because their bodies are all dried out and desiccated, so the skin is kind of leathery in places. So it's hard to see minuscule details. All of these corpses have had their throats slit. None of them have any spider bites on them whatsoever. It's all just their throats have been slit.
Whoa, guys, check this out. This is weird. Where are we?
In a underground tunnel system with a spider. Mm.
Dude, look,
What?
these guys, these weren't killed by spiders. Look at this.
And he'll like lift the chin up on one so that
Yeah. Dust just kind of tumbles out.
out the neck.
And a little spider crawls out, but it's not one of the whitish blue ones. It's just a normal little tiny spider that just scurries out of the neck hole and down Bernard's arm and then onto the floor.
That's how you get to get someone to stop talking.
Yeah, hey, I saw you do this before. Do you think you could ask these guys a question, Una? Like, what happened?
I could try, but I guess well, they all have mouths, right?
They do.
This should work if these dudes haven't been given a talking to prior to this in the last 10 days. So let's see. Which one do you want me to talk to?
Gosh.
Do any of them stand out as maybe ones that would, be in their right mind whenever they died?
Nope, not really.
Yeah.
I guess just pick the one that you think has the best singing voice.
All of them look to be dead about the same time.
They all look super dried up.
Yeah.
I'll just cast Speak with Dead on the one that Garrett's like holding up.
We'll say that's the.
Bernard's holding up.
We'll say that's a dwarf. The dwarf. Actually, I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick which one you're holding. Do you want to hold the dwarf, the tiefling, the human, the elf, or the drow? It looks okay. Actually, when you tell, you can tell it's a drow because the skin, the desiccation is a little grayer. I'll let you pick which one you're looking at.
But they all of the ones you named have their necks cut?
Yep.
Okay.
Which one are you picking, Garrett?
Oh, it's
Which one
Una.
you-
Una's casting the spell.
Yeah, but she's picking the one you're holding. I'm trying to figure which one you want to hold.
Oh, I thought you were talking
No,
about
no, no, no,
God,
no,
I was
no.
just like, just casting the spell. Fuck, he just, God, sorry.
It's all good.
Fuck. We'll say the human.
Okay.
Human.
All right.
Basic.
So he's kind of like lifting up the human's neck, and that's when the spider came. Yeah, blah blah blah. So it's a human. And you're casting Speak with Dead.
Yep.
All right. Take off the old spell slot, and you start casting Speak with Dead. You sort of channel the spell into the corpse. No effect. Spell fails.
Interesting. Sorry, Bernard doesn't look like our friend's being very chatty. Looked like he may have talked to someone prior.
You would also know it wouldn't work if they're undead.
Or maybe some worse reasons, depending on which way you consider which is worse.
Wait,
I,
what?
either someone tried to speak with
Oh, after 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, this is what you discern, because it takes 10 minutes to cast it.
either someone tried to speak to our friend, or they're undead. Equally both unsettling options depending on your view of things.
Okay, so you telling me that these things are undead?
They could be undead.
Bernard like drops it from his hand a bit.
It just hits the ground with a dry kind of like, and dust kind of like puffs up as it gets dropped.
Just to clarify, I think Speak with Dead is the casting time of one action, but it lasts 10 minutes.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah.
Would
Okay.
specters be undead?
Sorry?
Asking Luna if specters are undead. Earlier when I was reading about Sithicus,
Common knowledge is specters are undead. You would know that, Nesla, based on what you do and stuff.
Earlier when I was reading about Sithicus, it mentioned that when you die here, I don't know if we're close enough yet, but
It wasn't Sithicus. It wasn't Sithicus about that. Sithicus is called the Land of Specters. Your knowledge of if you're thinking what I think you're meaning, if you die, that's for the keep of the Black Rose, not for Sithicus itself.
never mind.
Well, my interest is way peaked now. I think,
Is there like a curtain rod or anything really long, like a long implement, longer than what my sword would be?
Nope. Actually, mundane equipment that's all scattered over the room.
excuse me.
No, most of the
No
mundane,
spears?
most of the undead equipment is mostly swords. Give me another investigation check.
Okay. That is a 12.
You sift through the room. After about 10 minutes, you can find a heavily rusted, kind of the wood rotted spear. The wood's kind of like soggy a little from the rot, and there's like little maggots kind of crawling around in the wood.
Alright, guys, because this place just looks way too weird, and we really need to know more information before we move on. I think you guys should get to the other side of the room, and I'm gonna use this spear to open up that chest.
I'll back up behind.
Okay. Does everybody else back up?
I put myself in front of Ophelia.
Okay.
Oh, you big.
Yeah.
I'm big.
Furbolg, 8 feet. Went from Grung to Furbolg.
And Nesla can get behind me too if he wants.
Everybody ready?
I'll just say I'm back at the stairs or something.
Everybody ready?
As far away as I can be and
Yeah.
still see it.
Okay.
I hope we don't meet Ayun again, Bernard.
Please don't let that happen. I mean, she's great, but you know.
I won't.
Okay.
Just be safe.
Chest opens up. There's a flash of light, and the glyph disappears off the latch. Nothing else happens.
Rest of the way open.
Yeah.
And Bernard will creep forward and have a look inside.
At the bottom of the chest, there's kind of like a red velvety pillow, and nestled in the middle of the pillow is a black diamond.
Interesting.
But that, and then that carving on the latch, no longer there.
Okay.
Looks like we got something here, but it looks like it might be a bit shifty. It's black, and you know, most black things kind of evil. I don't want any of you to get corrupted again, so I'm gonna take a little cloth here.
And he's gonna like kind of shuffle it into scoop it. He's gonna scoop it and tie it like a little rucksack thing. So it's like a
Mm-hmm.
rag. Yeah, they pretty much puts it on a rag, and then uses the spear to like flip the pillow over that it was on.
Okay.
And just kind of look around, see what's going on with that pillow to make sure.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
There doesn't appear to be.
This looks like a black gem or rock or something. I don't know. Could be dangerous. I can't tell if it's magical or not. But it was sitting on like a pillow. It seemed like someone was thinking it was precious or something. But who wants to hold it?
I will.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And he hands it to you.
And still in the cloth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take it. And
Please
put it
don't
away.
touch it. Yeah. Okay.
Put it away.
Okay.
Hey, Ophelia. Does it matter the color of the diamonds for you to do your revivify stuff?
Not the color, it's more what matters about the value of it.
Oh, okay, so we could use that for the one that you used on the boy.
If it's of equal or greater value, yes.
Awesome. We're back where we
Oh
Who knows?
my god, that hurt me. And one of the corpses is like shifting. It's like they're trying to breathe, but they can't because of their throats.
Yeah, Bernard's just gonna go over and smash it.
Everybody roll initiative.
Okay. Sorry, like Bernard sees that stuff, everything's on pause, and he's just like, nope.
And I will be posting the dimensions of this room in the group chat.
Okay.
Because remember, there's a big pit in the center.
Oof.
Okay, he said the pit was 25 wide.
Yep. It takes up most of the room. So when I send you guys this map, the little rectangle is going to be the chest. So Bernard is right by the chest. The little stick figure by the chest is Bernard. The stairs where you guys would have come out, that's where Nesla is standing. So that's the stick figure with the cat ears is Nesla. And then we'll say Ophelia and then the other tunnels are going to be the circles on the map. And then we'll say, yeah, Ophelia and Una are going to be like, Una is the bigger stick figure. The one with the devil tail is Ophelia. And the zombie, early weird corpses are all right here.
think I just figured out your fucking puzzle, Justin. The spell on that lock was animate dead or something, right?
Maybe.
Not denying it.
I'm not gonna say,
Ah,
because that might be wrong. There y'all go. Should be sent now.
Oh, I love it.
That pit in the middle is the big pit. So yeah, the one standing in front of the rectangle is Bernard. Those are all the creatures that just risen. Obviously zombies.
okay, so it's 5. Right?
Yep. One looks like it's as it like kind of stands up. It looks like its belly starts to expand, like inflate.
Great.
All right, Bernard, what'd you get for initiative?
I got a down 16.
16. Ophelia.
Also 16.
Bang. Nesla.
19.
Una.
27.
As per usual, Una goes first.
I have a +9 to initiative now. I don't like going first.
So you see 4 of these corpses just like they're trying to get breath in, but they can't because of their throats, and they start rising. And then one of them, his belly starts to inflate like a balloon almost, and it gets severely bloated.
The one that's closest to me is probably like 10 feet away? 15?
15.
Is his belly doing the thing too?
They're doing the what?
Is his belly like expanding too?
Nope. Only one of them
Okay.
is.
Okay. Una's gonna go up to that one, and she's going to try to hit it with her rapier.
Go for it. You will not get sneak attack.
And
Okay, what'd you get?
26.
Definitely hits. These are naked zombies. Desiccated, dried up corpses that are nude.
Uh, 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay, you run forward and you stab into its stomach. No blood or anything, just dust kind of coats the rapier.
I'm going to yeah. Cutting action, disengage, and then bolts from the grave.
Okay.
19.
Hits. So just you disengage. So how far are you going?
Probably like.
Or are you staying there? I think you. Okay, you'd have to. Okay, so you move back 10 feet. Obviously, I imagine you're staying as. Okay. Okay. That one you attacked is on the edge of the pit, kind of. So you kind of rush forward and stab it, and then bolts from the grave. How much damage?
1 second. Oh god. 6. 30 necrotic damage.
How many?
30 necrotic damage.
Dang. That one just explodes in a cloud of parts and dust.
And I'm just kind of like reaction, turn towards Nesla. Thumbs up.
You're coated in just corpse dust. Alright, anything else?
Nope, that's good.
That'll bring it to Nesla.
Nice. Guess now's as good a time as any, and I'm going to run around the side. I guess the right side is closer. So
Yes.
And that was Bernard standing right in front of the chest, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I'll like roll over his back and try staff this first turn twice.
All right, make an attack roll.
23.
23 definitely hits. And the one beside the one you're hitting is the one that's belly's inflated. And how much damage is that? Sorry.
12 damage.
Okay. Just and it's like.
Alright, and the second swing, I'm going to try to hit it on the right side, so maybe I can knock it down the pit.
That would have to be a shove action to do that.
Yeah. Alright, but still, try staff to
Yep.
the right side. 27.
Definitely hits.
And 12 damage again.
12 damage. Nice. Just whack, whack, and it's like skull is like caved in on the side now. The bone fragments. You can kind of hear the bone fragments like clicking around inside the head.
Alright. One more. I'm going to fold the end and try to jam it into the skull.
Go for it.
17.
Definitely hits. Just and the front of the skull kind of breaks apart a little bit, and currently your tricep it sticks in there a little bit, and then you pull it out. How much damage?
13.
13. That's what you needed. And it just kind of and it tumbles forward into the pit and just falls.
Okay.
And you don't hear it based on you wouldn't hear it hit the bottom right now anyway. But
any movement remaining, I'm going to take a couple of steps back and to the side to let Bernard by.
okay. Okay, cool. That'll bring it to the husk zombies. And the one closest to Una is going to lumber towards her with its 35 feet of movement speed.
Is it undead? Because Ophelia still technically has the icon of Ravenloft. And if Una's in front of her.
She would have moved away from you to do some attacks.
Didn't she move forward and then back?
Yeah. Either way, it's still walking up.
She's within 30 feet.
Oh, she'd be within 30 feet.
Attack.
So it's going to make 2 claw attacks. Just so the first one with disadvantage does not hit. The second one with disadvantage does not hit. Motherfucker. I hate the icon of Ravenloft. Actually, it reminds me to look into that item real quick, because I need to see if it works.
Oh.
Yeah, but icon of Ravenloft though. Please.
It was made for a specific purpose, though. What's your alignment, Ophelia?
Currently. Where is it? Chaotic good.
Chaotic good, okay. You would have noticed it wasn't working before.
Okay.
With you had your whole thing. Alright, yeah, it still works. Okay, cool. That'll bring it to one of the other ones. This one, so this radius does not affect Bernard or Nesla right now from the icon. So this one's going to just lumber towards Bernard. And it's going to make 2 claw attacks. The first one is a natural fucking 1, so it hits you on the armor, and there's a loud, like, and it breaks its hand. Its hand kind of, like, hangs, like, kind of breaks backwards. It's like, and then the second claw attack, man, 14 to hit, so it just hits you in the armor. Dink! And that'll bring it to Bernard.
Where's the big boy? The big belly boy.
Currently behind that one.
All right. So Bernard is gonna slink past that one, but not out of its
Sure.
range.
You can easily do that.
And he's going to try to grapple the biggie boy.
Sure. Contested strength. Oh, that's a 14.
That's a 22.
Yeah, you grapple it.
And I'm gonna throw him into the pit.
All right, make a yes. Fuck, I gotta look how to do this again. If you can do that as another action. You have to.
Yeah, I have 3 attacks.
Does grappling count as an attack though?
Grappling accounts as one of your attacks.
And so does a shove. Okay, or shove an attack or shove an action.
Shove is also an attack. It counts
Okay,
as an attack.
but it does need to make a strength check.
Yep.
But as soon as you shove it, it needs to make a strength check to see if it resists the shove. I don't think shoves automatically happen.
Correct.
But then
shove is also a contested strength.
Yeah,
check.
and as soon as you shove it, the grappling ends. Yeah, thank you. Fuck. 15.
24.
All right. Falls into the pit, and you do not hear it hit the ground yet.
Get that big boy out of here.
Anything else?
So he still has another bonus action. So with his bonus action, because he has Tavern Brawler, he can use that bonus action to grapple another guy.
Sure.
And toss him. So.
Really, you can do another shove action.
Yeah.
Really, with Tavern Brawler.
I have 3 attacks, and the Tavern Brawler lets you grapple with a bonus action.
Man, that's fun.
If you've made a yeah. It means that I can grab and toss 2 people in 1 round.
I'm looking that up just to be safe.
Yeah. I double check my work here, but yeah.
When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike or an improvised weapon on your turn, you can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple the target.
Yeah, unarmed strike with the.
Yeah, then make an attack roll then.
Is the throw? Yeah. Okay. Well, what?
You have to make an unarmed strike or an improvised weapon on your turn. You can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple the target.
Right.
You have to hit when you hit the creature. You haven't hit this creature yet.
Yeah, but the improvised weapon was the guy that I threw.
Okay, you didn't specify that. So, make an attack roll.
Okay. Oh, but
that's what I'm ruling. Make an attack roll. That's what it says for the Tavern Brawler.
If I say it in the future.
Yes, I'll understand.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Right. So right now, you're saying that I wanted to
grapple this one, attack roll. That's what Tavern Brawler says.
Okay. So if that's the case, then I'll just fucking cut him.
Okay.
So I'll just pull out the sword when I see him.
Okay.
And that is a 15 to hit.
Obviously hits.
Alright. And 10 damage. 10 slashing.
Alrighty.
And so that is my 3rd attack.
Mm-hmm.
And for bonus action, I will. I'm gonna hold off.
Okay. And that'll bring it to Ophelia.
So, how many zombie dudes guys are there now?
There is the one in front of Una, directly in front of Una. There is the one in front of Bernard, and the one that fell in the pit. So there's only 2 left.
There's only 2 left.
Yeah.
Bernard's good. Una's good. Ophelia is gonna firebolt the one in front of Una.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Natural 1 for 11.
Doesn't hit because natural 1. Anything else?
No.
Okay. That'll bring it to the husk zombie that fell down the pit. Falling damage. I need to think here real quick. Takes 62 points of bludgeoning damage. And you hear it explode.
Go over the edge. Is there a mess?
You can't see anything.
Okay.
That'll bring it back to the top with Una.
The one that's right in front of me.
Yep.
I'm going to try to hit with my rapier.
Go for it.
24.
Definitely hits.
Sneak attack or no sneak attack?
Yes.
One second. Okay, that's 10 piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then sneak attack is... $29.
Okay. And it also explodes in just dust. So there's one left, and that is the one that is currently engaged with Bernard. Or sorry, no, it's not. That one's... Oopsies, I killed the wrong one. Yes, the one engaged with Bernard is still alive.
I'm gonna use my movement to get by him and get ready to slashy slash for my next turn.
Okay. That'll bring it to Nesla.
Okay. I'm going to move around Bernard again,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good idea. Standing to the outside of the ring, going to try to kick, shove one of them.
All right. Contested strength.
Natural one.
Yeah, you go to kick it, and it just holds its ground.
Damn, those things are faster than I thought.
Yeah, it's fast. It's like...
I jab the immovable rod into its gut.
Okay.
That's better. 29.
Can you make another attack if, as right now, if you have, because oh no, shove action counts as attack, but it doesn't count as an unarmed strike though, so that might mess with amongst. All right, cool. 29 hits though.
9 damage.
Okay.
And bonus action unarmed strike. Natural 20.
Ooh.
I gotta check something. So the shove action was your first attack. With that was your second. So bonus action. Yeah, cool. Natural 20. Max damage plus roll damage.
Wait, max damage would be 13 plus 10, 23 damage.
Okay.
And I will step behind Bernard again.
Okay. That'll bring it to that zombie. Nearing death. It's gonna go out on its own terms, and its belly starts to expand, and it explodes. I only need Bernard to make a Constitution saving throw as it explodes.
Hey, caramba.
What'd you get?
That would be fat old 11.
That is a fail. Bernard, you take 17 points of poison damage.
Ah, gross.
Is it just...
Oh, but I'm resistant to poison.
So you take half 17. So you take 8 poison damage.
Cool. I mean, not cool, but...
And it dies.
Ugh, gross.
Oh,
Yeah,
I would
no.
have had advantage on that, but anyway, I forgot. So,
Anyways, encounter are dead.
Oh boy, that was gross, and that was, whoops.
Well, I guess that answers the question if someone tried the spell or they were undead.
Yeah, that was weird.
Damn boomers.
What the heck is that?
Damn boomers.
by the way, Justin,
Mm-hmm.
that was really fun. Like, this room, I want to figure out more. But there's,
Alright.
Oh, that reminds me. As this encounter finishes, the zombies are disappeared. You guys have that gem safely tucked away wherever in a cloth or whatever. All of the entrances to those tunnels disappear, except the one in the middle of the floor.
Wait, what? What just happened?
Either we chose the wrong tunnel, or that's the way we gotta go.
Wait,
Bernard will go over to where the other tunnels were.
Solid wall.
What about the stairway? that they went through?
Solid wall.
The stairway's gone?
Yeah.
what just happened? This is ridiculous.
Actually, that's not ridiculous, Bernard. That's stone.
What happened?
Una, you take 97 points of psychic damage and are propelled into the pit.
That's twice this time. Wow, God really has it out for you right now, Una.
God may judge me, but his sins outnumber my own.
Oh my God.
Guys, what should we do? I mean, what happened? We can't just go down there. Look, I mean, we can't even see the bottom. We'd die. None of us can get down there anyway.
I
So what are we
can't.
gonna do?
Technically.
What?
I look up. Does the hole continue up?
No. But a message appears on the wall in blood. Kind of where the chest was, like right above where the chest was, kind of where the chest is, kind of scribbled onto the wall in blood.
Oh boy.
Can any of us read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just says "Welcome."
Did we make it? Is this it? This can't be.
Is this Sithicus?
This can't be the keep though, right? We haven't gone that far.
Una goes up to the wall where it says like welcome and blood.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes her dagger, just kind of like pricks her finger.
Mm-hmm.
And with her blood, she's just gonna run underneath it. Thanks.
Constitution saving throw. As you touch that wall with your finger. With blood out. Constitution saving throw at 26? Holy moly.
+8.
Oh.
Okay. Still half damage. Okay, have that. So halved, you take 36 points of necrotic damage, and the writing fades, and a tunnel that's 15 feet wide and 15 feet tall opens up through this wall, and it's like an arched tunnel. No spider webs, totally different. It's like blacks. It's still kind of like the material of the cave, but it's an arched tunnel with no spider webs or anything going on behind it. Just
You
a
said
tunnel.
36 was halved, right?
Correct.
Making sure. Very
Big
good,
yikes.
boy.
Wow, you figured it out. Wow, good job, Una.
All part of the plan.
Yeah,
Also-
who knew just being polite would have a
Also,
door for you?
notes. I need another Constitution saving throw, Una.
She was just trying to be her smart ass self. That was caught. 13.
13. What hand did you use? Right or left?
To roll it?
No, to touch the wall.
Oh!
Yeah, what hand did you use to roll your dice?
Chop it off now.
We're going for absolute realism here.
She used her left hand.
Left hand? Okay. It blackens and turns into a husk. Your entire arm.
Does it
Hey,
fall
left
off?
arm, buddy.
It doesn't fall off, it's just a dried, withered husk, and it is useless.
Hey,
So her
damn.
hand is kind of locked up in a single position.
Yeah, it looks like a monkey. It looks like one of those like withered wishing hands. It's withered. It looks like one of the zombies you just fought, but her arm is completely just drained of any vitality, any life, any blood. It is just a withered, tiny little arm.
Una, what happened? Oh no.
Oh, we're really becoming quite the family here. Me and Ophelia are basically second cousins at this point.
Oh no.
I hate to say I told you so at this point, but I did warn against touching the thing.
You guys- You can't you can't feed things your blood, guys. That's big no.
I wasn't trying to feed it. I was trying to be funny. This is what I get. I
And,
kinda deserve it.
Torches along that hallway start to light up with green flames. Just
Oh boy. Alright. Guess we better move forward. God, are you gonna be alright, Una?
I guess we're gonna find out.
you have disadvantage also on all
alright.
dexterity checks and saves. Or not dexterity because it's your hand. Strength.
Okay, this is fine. If I die, it's fine. Everything's fine,
No,
right?
it's not fine.
No,
Everything's
we-
fine.
So meta-wise, Brittany, you did hear that if you
Garrett,
die
I'm
here,
100% joking.
Okay, all right, okay. I wasn't sure if you heard the thing earlier where it was because Oof. Okay, sorry.
Alright, let's go. Oh boy.
Given what happened to your arm, you might want to take that first step very slowly.
Yeah.
He takes that spear, that rotted spear thing, and just kind of pokes the ground in front of him.
You poke the ground in front of you, and the kind of like the wall panel, the ceiling tile in the arch slides to the left, and just a column of necrotic, like just green necrotic flames come down from the ceiling, and then the trap no longer is activated. But the sphere is
boy.
that sphere is reduced to dust in your hands.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Anybody got any other implements? I'm not. Whew. I'll just move very slowly and give it a good eye everywhere we're going.
And he'll have a look at that mechanism that he triggered
Yeah.
and try to make sure that to keep an eye out for any similar see if he can keep an eye out for any if it has any danger signals or
Investigation check.
nope.
Okay.
As a 11.
It just looks like
It's like every other tile.
yeah.
Shit. Alright, I need another stick.
Bernard's
Una?
just gonna start like poking each of the things with his sword.
Okay.
As he moves forward.
Looks like we're gonna have to take this one slow.
Una's gonna take the skull she still had on her.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, you're a Harley newbie. And she's just gonna chuck it in front of them down the hall and see if it triggers anything ahead of them.
Eating it.
Nope. It just, and then it breaks into pieces. And at the end of this corridor is an open room, and you can see a fountain with no water in it at the end.
Okay. Another fountain. Oh boy, these things. Not. I mean, you know, last time we saw a fountain.
Does this look like the fountain we
No.
saw in?
No.
Okay.
Last time we saw a fountain, though, it had a whole lot of souls in it.
Yeah. So the fountain, there's a fountain, stone fountain. The water has long since dried up as you approach it. And there's stone benches kind of all around it, like this might have been a garden at some point. And the ceiling, like an indoor garden. The ceiling looks like stained glass. There's no light coming through. And it looks like this entire inner area has kind of been overtaken by red plants, like red vines kind of cascading all across the walls. And then ahead of you there's a single wooden door with an iron ring on it to like open it, like a pull ring. Oh no, sorry. More of like a knocker, the knocker's in the shape of a flayed human face smiling.
Delicious. I love that.
And that's what you guys see. Anyone doing anything?
The stained glass, is it in any particular pattern or is it
Just stained glass. Just nothing,
color?
no set patterns, just random mosaic almost of colors.
It's what do you call it? Postmodern.
There you go.
Love it.
Alright,
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What's up, Nesla? Go ahead.
I guess from this point we really need to be careful. I'm not even sure if this was the better option looking back at the pit.
You can't see the pit from here. But you look back in the direction of the pit.
We just gotta keep our head in the game, unlike that guy. And with her bad arm, she just tries to gesture towards it.
That arm doesn't move.
just like her body, just like. Eh.
But wait, so it's all the way upper arm, up
Yeah,
to her
shoulder.
part of her arm?
Yeah.
Wow, that's effed.
Yeah,
Right?
Ophelia's got more arm than that.
And it looks very similar to the flesh of those zombies, withered, dried, husk-like.
Una's gonna go up to the door knocker, just kind of take a closer look at it, see if anything's funky up with it.
Investigation check.
Can
Or perception, because this is more perceptive, not investigative.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Doesn't seem it. Doesn't seem like it is. Seems like a door knocker.
She's gonna take her hand and use it.
Okay.
Like, hello?
Door opens. And there's just a shimmering veil of white mist.
I mean, that's better than black.
What's everybody else doing currently?
Bernard is just waiting for everybody to do whatever they wanted to do.
Okay, what's Ophelia?
Just stood still.
Okay, what's Ophelia doing?
Ophelia's gonna see if she can identify these red plants that are taking over everything.
Okay, how you plan on doing that?
Looking at them, just like getting like right close to them. She's not gonna touch them, so she's gonna see if she can identify.
Nature check.
Nature check.
Yeah, nature.
Oh boy.
Great. Ophelia comes from a city, by the way. There's not a bit of nature yet. 4.
Pretty flower.
Yeah. I always love the color red. It's my favorite color.
What'd you get?
A 4.
Oh, red vines.
Ooh, I love red vines. Hell yeah.
What's Nesla doing?
Oh, you just muted yourself.
Yeah, I did that completely backwards. I'm gonna grab Una and hey, last time you stepped into something we couldn't see the other side of, it didn't turn out so good.
Last time it was a black void. This one's a white void. Completely different, Nesla. Completely.
You could always test it out with your dead arm.
And she will
Don't do
stick
it.
the
Don't
bad
do it.
arm
Don't do it.
through.
Are you doing it or no?
I'm gonna just put the bad arm into it.
Okay.
Like
Just the arm.
I was the
Yeah.
one that was joking. Brittany.
You put your bad arm through, and you guys watch as the bad arm starts to disappear slowly, like it's being erased up to the shoulder, and then up to the. Need a wisdom saving throw, Una. As it starts to transgress and progress into your body.
Oh, we love that.
Oh. Nesla, I don't feel so good. Dirty 20?
Dirty 20. For a moment, you're all watching her, and she starts to, like, drift and fade. And for a moment, you all forget who Una is, like she's being wiped out of existence. And then it stops. And then it stops. But her arm is completely gone. And then
Her arm never existed.
And then a moment later, it reappears.
All black or
No,
like...
same way. All husk-like. All husk-like.
Okay.
Okay, so say we don't go into that.
Yeah, that looks pretty dangerous. Let's not do that.
And you hear a gunk, like something unlocks in the room.
Bernard's gonna go look at look around at the fountain and the benches.
When you get to the fountain, give me an investigation check.
Okay. Haven't been doing well on the investigation checks tonight. 16.
16? There's grooves on the floor, like the fountain can be pushed to the left.
Interesting. Keep a lookout, guys. I'm gonna try something. Ugh.
You push the fountain, and it's remarkably light. And as you push it, the fountain kind of starts to grind and rotate and slides further across the room.
Okay.
And it reveals
Okay.
and it reveals a trapdoor. Stone door with an iron pulling ring on it. And written on the door it says "The Way Forward" in blood. And then that writing fades.
You know, there's some blood written. Guys, check this out. Not great, but good. I mean, but maybe not. Yeah, have a look.
And he'll like show it to him.
Okay.
It said this was the way forward, but it was the kind of bloody message that also made Una's arm crispy.
But was that because I replied to them or touched it? We don't know.
Or put your blood on the wall.
Hey, you two are people of science, right? Right. Experiment. How about I just grab with the other hand, and if it happens, we know it wasn't my blood. It was just me touching bloody things.
No, because
No.
if you lose your other arm, how are you going to attack? You know,
Yeah,
how are you going to do the thing you're good at?
Yeah.
I'll just smack. You can just take the rope, tie my daggers to my hands, and I'll just flail my body out.
I'll use you as an improvised weapon. I got it. I don't think you get.
I'm like Nesla's immovable rod 2.0.
No, I don't like that.
Una, as much as you seem to be bent on self-destruction, we do care about you, and we don't want you to. We want you to take care of yourself. I mean, kind of selfishly, because we like you to take care of us. And you can't do that if you're all bummed.
If this was anywhere else, I would let you do it and I would just kill you. But I don't think we can bring you back here.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. I'm not used to the whole dying, having consequences thing like you guys. Kind of just goes over my head still.
Una,
and he'll kind of go up to her and put his hand on her big furbolg arm.
Not the withered one?
Correct. And just be like,
Una. It can be difficult for you to know this, but we do care, okay? And we need you to care about you as well.
And Una will just, with her good arm, just like give Bernard like a little like squeeze side hug.
Okay.
Right. I'll take the lead, okay? So, right, we'll get through this. I think we got this jerk ass is putting all these messages up, and who knows where he's leading us. But hopefully we don't have to beat him. We can find a way around, just get what we need, and get out of here.
Fair enough.
Right. And Renson will start walking forward.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll at his friends.
Be like, all right, let's do this.
I'll follow.
Where are you guys going again?
The only path forward, the way forward, right? Down
The trapdoor.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna lift the trapdoor?
Yeah.
Nothing happens. You lift it. No effects happen. Nothing evil happens. The writing fades, and you see a ladder descending into darkness.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Cool.
All right, here we go.
And Bernard's gonna take out his sword and clang on the ladder. Is
Okay.
it metal or wood?
Metal.
Okay.
Looks like black iron.
So it does like a ting ting?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
And he'll
start going down.
Alright. You start going down the ladder. You get about halfway down the ladder. Feels a little sticky. And you're having some issue like pulling your hands free, but you can. And you can continue down.
he's gonna look down. How much further down to the ground?
About 20 feet.
Guys, this is real sticky. I don't know what's up with this.
And he'll have a look at it.
Investigation check.
Okay. All of my investigation checks are not too great tonight. 13.
13. Don't see anything.
Yeah, it's just I don't get it.
There's a weird, like, this looks like there's like a weird black ooze kind of on it, but
Guys, watch your step. This is really weird and sticky. It's kind of gross.
And he'll kind of keep one hand off and then just kind of start going down with one hand just to be ready.
okay.
So he's just descending with one hand.
Okay, you get to the bottom.
Okay.
Who's next?
Nesla.
Nesla. Okay. So Nesla, you get about halfway down the ladder, so there's 20 feet left. And then all of a sudden, you can't move anymore on the ladder. You're stuck. Like your hands won't come off the bars, the rings of the ladder, your feet won't move, you're stuck to the ladder. And it sounds like it's breathing a little bit. And all on the sides of the ladder and on the little hand holders, little eyes pop open. And where there's a gap in the ladder, something appears, like a mouth forms, and a long, coiling, saliva-colored purple tongue extends from the ladder. And that's where we're going to end the session for the week.
That's pretty perfect course. Yeah.
Yeah, so Nesla is currently stuck to a ladder and can't get off of it.
About to be bitten by a, I assume, mimic.
So, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll not be back with Shadows over Ravenloft next week, most likely. We'll probably do a little funky little one-shot instead, because Garrett's going to be gone because he's moving. And the same thing for Beneath the Tide next week, and our other little slot before Beneath the Tide. We're doing one-shots. So Wednesday, I don't think we're going to have any games Wednesday. We're just going to take the day out, take the week off for Wednesdays. Next Thursday, we'll be back for a one-shot. But come see us this Sunday for Soldiers of the Lich Queen and see what happens. Because of what I did.
Juicy character moments, yo.
Yay!
Wait, what?
Oh, Hannibal put on some armor that everyone yelled at him for putting it on.
It's definitely cursed.
I thought you said juicy character romance.
Oh, no.
And I was just
moments.
like, what? Oh, okay. I was just like, Hannibal's getting busy with someone? What's that?
Hell yeah.
Hannibal's fucking shredded.
Yeah, Hannibal has the highest strength of the party, and he's a wizard artificer.
Wow.
Yeah. 15 strength, I think. Anyways, we're back next week with some of our stuff. So until then, see you guys all later. Shadows of Ravenloft will be back till this weird place where the party is. April.